A son makes a promise to his mother at a young age that if she doesn't have her degree by a certain time, that you're going to do this together.
She would always put us first and everything else, like her family. Seeing that to me was like, I was just young, just sitting in the back of the car, just listening. It just came to me randomly. I feel like God gave it to me.
It's a wow factor because he always talks like that. And he has dialogues, conversations that he want to talk about and things that are heavy on his mind. To be a baby, a little child of 5 years old, having these in-depth thoughts. I never would have thought about that he would want me to graduate with him at that time.
Welcome to the UMGC podcast, Unstoppable Stories, with your host, Nathan James.
Well, hello and welcome to the UMGC podcast, Unstoppable Stories. I'm here with our guests, Carolyn Patton and Emmanuel Patton. They are both graduates of UMGC, and I can't tell you how excited we are to have them on here with us live. So, Carolyn, Emmanuel, thank you for being
You're
here.
welcome.
No problem.
How y'all feeling today?
Wonderful. At peace.
Yeah. Let's jump into this, okay? Let's jump right on in. Look, the headline of your story, it's obvious. A son makes a promise to his mother at a young age that if she doesn't have her degree by a certain time, that you're going to do this together. You're going to get that degree together.
Absolutely.
Can you please fill us in, give us some background? How'd that promise come to be?
I was how the promise came up was we were just driving, and to me, I've always seen my mom always carried me everywhere she went for the most part, and so I always looked at it as like I went in her office and I always hear people talking about like, oh, I have my degree, I have my bachelor's, I have this and all these accolades, and my mom always showed like I always heard about like she just had that compassion. She always know how to. Like the role was already built for her. All she had to do was just step in. And so the thing was, it just didn't have that degree though. Because she always had to postpone it for other things like making sure my sister and myself were all taken care of. She would always put us first and everything else, like her family. And so seeing that to me was like, I was just young, just sitting in the back of the car, just listening. It just came to me randomly. I was like, I feel like God gave it to me. Like, Ma, I always see how hard you work. My main thing is, if you don't get it by this time, when this whole time in this journey, you don't get it. My main thing is when it's time for me to start, we gonna get it together. So I visualized it. I had hope. I put that was a hope seed I put right back then, and I believed it. I had crazy amount of belief in that. Oh yeah, this is going to happen.
With my son and I, as he mentioned about, he's always with me most of the time. He's sitting in his car seat in the back of me, and he has dialogues, conversations that he want to talk about and things that are heavy on his mind. To be a baby, a little child of 5 years old, having these in-depth thoughts. And I never would have thought about that he would want me to graduate with him at that time. I don't like school. And who does? But it's important. It's an important tool to have. I have to press my way through. As a single mom raising 2 children, and my daughter, who's now 43, she has her bachelor's degree. My son, now 25, has his bachelor's degree, and myself getting ready to be 65, if the Lord let me live to see it in December, having my bachelor's degree. So I always want them to have good success, not just success, but good success, meaning being strong and of a good courage, being able to not let somebody make them feel that they can't accomplish anything, that anything they put their mind to, they can do it. But they also pour into me, especially my son. He pours into me. My daughter does too, but my son is in my ear all the time about positive things. And I appreciate that because sometimes I want to give up. I get tired, but he said, nope, you can't give up, Mom. You got to keep pressing. We go to the trail. We do a lot of things together. And going forward to get that degree, I was just focusing on him, getting out of community college, transferring to get a 4-year degree. And here he says, well, while you signing me up, you need to be signing yourself up.
Carolyn, that's really good. And I've got to get a little bit more of your reaction too about
Okay.
5 years old, you said, right?
Yes.
5 years
Yeah,
old.
this
Your
young man
son
is
is here talking to you about
this a 5-year-old
college.
child. Yes. Yes.
I can't just let that one slide. Like, how do you react to that? You're hearing your 5-year-old tell you about college and saying, "We got to make a promise. I'm going to make a promise to you, Mom."
He-
What did that feel like?
Well, it's a wow factor because he always talks like that. He talks about
Mm,
a lot of deep things. When it comes to marriage, talks about relationships. So to talk about school, here it is. I'm taking him to private school every day. To go to school, trying to get there, trying to press our way in, not knowing how I'm gonna afford him to go to private school, but we did it. God made a way. I had to work extra hours cleaning up a church just so he could go to school, not knowing that they really didn't think that he was going to make it. But I did. I believed in my son that he was going to press his way all the way through from private school to public school to college. I mean, I took him to a 4-year college. He said, Mom, can we make a deal? If I keep honors, you'll come back and get me because I don't want to stay down here. I took him to a 4-year college down on the Eastern Shore. He didn't like it. He kept his honors. When that semester ended, I packed him up, picked him up, brought him back to my school. I said, well, you still got to go to school. You can't just not go to school. He said, I got that. He said, but I'm going to use your benefits. I'm going to go to your school. And he did. And he came and ended up getting a little part-time, college work study job. And I thought he was just going to do 1 degree, but he ended up doing 2 degrees and 2 certificates. I mean, he was moving and his grades were moving with it. And then it so happened COVID hit. And when COVID hit, he didn't get a chance to do like an actual commencement. He did a commencement.
oh, yeah.
And so that was unique and different, that how my son was able to not go across the stage or anything like that. But we drove through the campus and they announced his name out and, he ended up getting his degree and what have you. And then it's like, okay, now it's going to be time to move to the next thing. The next thing is a 4-year degree. But he's not the type that want to interact with a whole lot of, like the in-classroom setting. So I said, well, how about UMGC? It's an online, college, and you don't ever have to set foot on the campus. He said, that may not be so bad. He said, well, why are you signing me up? Sign yourself up too, because we both going.
Huh.
And I thought that by us both going, that means he would help me. He's very structural, very stern. He said, Mom,
Mm,
just like I got to get my lessons, you got to get yours. And to be honest with you, Nathaniel, I
yeah.
had almost
Yeah.
given up because I had a breakdown in the middle of that journey. And I just said, forget it. Just you go on. Don't worry about me. He said, nope, you got to pick yourself up. You can't just stop. I said, I just can't get it. Trying to understand all the terminology, the schematics, and all of the chatting, and have to go and do the when we have to send the different assignments back and forth. That became a lot to me, and it was overwhelming. And I just said, forget this. I don't have to get that degree. As long as you get yours, I'm fine. He said, nope, Mom, you've come too far. You've gotten too many credits for you to talk about you giving up. He said, dust yourself off, pick yourself up, whatever you need to do, but you're not quitting. And I didn't think that I was going to make it at the same time as he did, matter of fact. And all of a sudden, I had a teacher, after she listened to my story, and she says, take as much time as you need. I said, well, I don't need a lot of time. I just need a break. And so she says, well, if you need to take a couple of years away, I said, it's not going to take me that long either. I just need to step back and then regain myself and get back into it. And sure enough, I did. And then, of course, I had another teacher who really encouraged me a lot with my materials that I was sitting in, the projects that I was sitting in my music class that I had to do. And
Yeah.
in that program, Humanities, it took me in a whole lot of different journeys, places
Humanities.
that I probably would not have gotten a chance to get on an airplane and fly to, different countries, different cultures, different customs, unique people. And finally, when I submitted all my credits, and they sent me an email, said, "Look, you're able to march. You're able to graduate."
Oh my
And I'm
goodness.
like, "Wow!" And I told Emmanuel, I said, "Guess what? I think I'm going to be able to graduate with you." He said, "See, that's what's up. That's what's up." He said, "Mom," he said, "I didn't doubt it. I knew that we were going to do this." But for me, it
Yes.
got a little hairy because I really wanted to just give up in the middle of the journey.
Mhm. That okay, so right there. Um that's where you need encouragement the most, right?
Yes.
When I think we can all relate to that, our audience can relate to that, where you feel like you're down for the count,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And for someone to come from the outside, right? And to be there for you to help lift you back up, it's
Yes.
one of the most powerful things you can experience.
Yes.
Look, you've poured all of this belief and encouragement into Emmanuel, and
Hmm.
and Emmanuel ends up returning that favor. Talk about clutch timing. Emmanuel, talk to me about this, and talk to me about uh, what it's like, being able to be there for your mom in terms of believing in her and encouraging her, especially when she was going through it.
Yeah, so I would say I know my mother. I
Hmm.
I seen her. I know I know my thing is like always seeing how like she does things. I know she procrastinates, she's good, she big on that. And my biggest thing is like, okay, procrastination, I get that. I've seen it all always like back then when I was younger. I was like, I seen it. I understand. I always took time. Like for me, I'm the type to sit back. I'll be in the room and I'll just be watching, but I'm understanding everything. And then I'll talk. And so for me, I'll watch her. I'm like, okay, knowing how my mother deals with it or handles different things and how she goes about it and how her way of processing things. I was like, okay, main thing is this. When we're going to go to school, I know that you can't just be in her ear too much because then it gets too much and then she shuts down. So to me, it was like everything happened for a reason. Everything will always happen for a reason. I always believe that. And so the seed I put back then, give her that time before me going from kindergarten all the way till finally about to start at UMGC, it gives her time to kind of prepare herself mentally. Even though if you probably think I forgot, I never forgot. And so my thing is when we finally started, it's like I told her, I said, when we're doing this, I said, I know it's going to be hard. It's not easy. I'm not a big fan of school. I
Yeah,
always
keeping
said
it
that.
real. Keep it real.
But look, we'll keep
Go
it
ahead,
real now.
brother.
And so,
Okay.
but I told him, I'm like, but I know the importance of it though. That's
Mm.
the biggest thing is even though I may not like it, there's a lot of things I don't like. But I know the importance of it. I know that if I have this degree, no one can take this away from me. I always look at like I told students, I say these degrees are like a key to a door, to a field of all land opportunities. And there's so many different things jumping around. You may not be able to catch every last one of them, but you have the opportunity though. There's options of what you may want to catch.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's just opening that gate. So to me, when I look at my mom, when I talk to her, I'm like, when I know those like that class where it gets hard, it's I know. Like when it comes to math, yeah, I'm not your man with that. I can help you with it, but I may
I know
you
a
gonna
lot
get
of people feel that, by the way. I know a
look,
lot of
them
people
kids gonna
feel
come out. Look, I'm gonna look. I had a lot
Look,
of folks come in who
math,
helped
woo.
me, and I'm like, especially when we talking about algebra, I'm like, I had to go those tutoring sessions and trying to figure it all out. I'm like, God, I want to stop right now. But
Mm.
I'm like, to me, I realize if I stop, she's watching me. I always realize someone's watching me. That's I always that's something would help me throughout this journey to help her out. And that's something I always watch, like how she knows that I'm watching her when I'm younger. Like we all know we watch our parents. We watch everything. And so I know that's the same thing in reverse. Age is just a number. My thing is my mother's gonna be watching me. If I say I give up, how am I gonna encourage? Then I'll be a hypocrite.
Mm.
So I'm like, this is bigger than me.
Mm.
This is bigger than I've seen people from high school who I graduated with, and I see what they're doing now. A lot of them, if they just in the streets or just doing nothing, I'm like, my thing is, if they see me Whenever they come, if I ever come in contact with them again, I can be able to say, man, look, you seen how I was. You seen my journey. My mother, she's, of course, you got front row seat to see. So my main thing is we have to get this. We can't quit now. They're, how they say like the bachelor's is like the new high school diploma in this world. You have to have that degree. A master's is like almost a bachelor's. That's like something extra. I always look at it. So I always thought about the master's. That's one of her goals right there as well. And we still kind of going back and forth on that one. But and I told her, I said, nah, one day the main thing is realizing like why are we doing this? Why is this important? I know for her, she has the people skills. She knows how to do it. And knowing what this degree means to her. So when she goes in these rooms, when she does these interviews with any job, if they ask, well, do you have a bachelor? Oh yeah, all right, got that. What else you need?
Mm,
What else?
mm,
What else can we talk about? Let's play ball. What else we got?
mm-hmm,
My main
mm-hmm.
thing is advertise yourself. Make sure that your accomplishment speaks for themselves. You don't have to really speak for them.
Obviously, there's a synergy, there's a camaraderie, but between the two of you that's so special. And, you talked about that on a very inspirational level. Both of you have now. Take me into what that looked like. And you already did a little bit, but take us even more into a little bit what that looked like on a practical sort of every day, every semester basis. I mean, for one, you're living in the same house, I think, during this journey, so I'm sure that's helpful. Uh, it's during the pandemic now, okay? What did it look like, to be able to journey this way together, and help each other out, whether it be, you already talked a little bit about study habits and
Yeah.
checking on, complimenting each other. But tell us a little bit more about that journey, what it looked like.
For me, it was we were in different areas. He could be downstairs in his space, and I'm upstairs in my space. So we're not like right there under each other because he's in a different program and I'm in a different program, and so it's different things. Especially when we had to do that PACE 100, I believe. He took one a little bit different based on what his program was, and mine was a little bit different, but it was still somewhat similar.
Right,
The
the specializations, that's
Yes,
right. Yep.
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
projects that you had to do, but that PACE class sets you up for every other class that comes behind it. And I don't know whether a
Mm,
lot of students realize that. It's preparing you for the humanities. It's preparing you for the business aspect. It's preparing you for interacting with people.
that's
It's
right.
preparing you for the social skills, the psychological skills, the mental skills, the cultural skills, the social
Mm,
skills. It's preparing you for a lot of things. And then I know when we first come in as a student, we think, man, this is a lot of work. Why do we even need to do this? This is basic. It's really not basic because you got to write papers. You have to get in do group dynamics. With other interact with other students from other cultures and other customs and different things. Learning how to be a leader, learning how to be a secretary or administrative or a chairperson, and take charge. You have to take charge. So at first I started out real slow about that, and then as I constantly kept interacting with the instructor. And the other thing is being able to communicate to your instructor. Do not sit back and think that you got it when they're
mm,
there to help pour into you. Some of the classes I did struggle with, but I needed help. And so I did have wonderful professors that didn't mind walking side by side with me, but I also had
mm,
my son also who was there for
mm.
things that I didn't understand that he may understand it a little bit, but not that he helped me with my work or anything like that, because we both, because of the integrity. You have to make sure,
Sure,
that I'm not
sure.
doing anything crossing the line, and he didn't, because he stayed specifically to what he needed to do. And so
Mm,
that helped me to be more in tune in spite of my procrastination. Yes, I am a big time procrastination. I work under the fire. My adrenaline, it gets my adrenaline going.
look,
And
look.
and for him,
I know a lot of people relate to that.
he likes to plan everything out, or like
Yeah.
he gets it done real quickly or whatever. And I mean, he does it accurately though. So I admire him for his way of doing things, but I also embrace the way that I do it too because it works for me.
Hey, different strokes for different
Yes,
folks, and
yes.
yet keeping it
Can
in
you
the
tell him
family.
that? Can you
Come on
tell
now.
him that? Different strokes for different folks? Yes,
Different strokes for different folks, but keeping it in the family,
yes,
sharpening one another.
yes,
Iron sharpens iron. Come on
yes.
now.
Oh, he says
Well,
that all
okay.
the time.
Okay. All right. Well, let me get you in here, Emmanuel. So to be able to share those moments, right? What was that like? And I'm sure you had stories of your own. You probably were sharing to Carolyn too. Oh, I'm going through it.
Like,
Mom, I'm going through. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I'll say, yeah, going, hearing how she be talking, like, I'm like, on that, like, how you were asked that question earlier about, like, the dynamics of on a daily basis. I would say that dynamic of, like, I always, my main thing is work hard, play hard. Look, I'm gonna have fun doing this now. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have fun. So if she over there doing work, I'll poke her. I'll like, Mom, what you doing? Mom, what's up? You doing something? Oh yeah, I know you doing your work. Look, I told you you
Uh-huh.
gotta get the work done. But Mom, what's up? Mom, you wanna go to the trail? You want, or I'll just kind of like, for me, I'll be like, Mom, like, just go mess with her ear a little bit, like poke her real weird. I'm like, Mom, what you doing? And then she's like, Man, if you don't leave me alone. And then she's like, All right, keep playing with me. I
I
said, All
love
right,
this.
look,
I
come
love
on
this.
now, come on, let's go. Like
Uh-huh.
I said, my main thing
Uh-huh.
is we gotta have like that's my way of like breaking up the seriousness of school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you serious all the time, it's not gonna be enjoyable.
Yeah, I
This is
see.
gonna be 10 times more harder. So my main thing is on that daily basis, it would be as I'll just kind of find a way to break up the monotony of it and stuff. And then of course, like when she's telling me about like her stories with the professors, it's like, man, this professor right here. I'm like, look, I mean, I had my share with professors. Like, I had my journey with professors. I'll say this to kind of keep it in. I'll still keep it real with y'all. I know when I tell when I talk to students, I try to tell them when I say I
Uh-huh.
understand exactly on all different levels of a different situation that you probably had with a
Uh-huh.
professor.
Uh-huh.
I know exactly what you're saying. I just can't say it, but I know what you're
Mm.
saying
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Because
So
and man, because right there, let me pause you right there.
yeah,
Because you said you're advising students, right? So real quick, your role again, just for everyone listening, what your
yeah.
current role
So
is.
I am a success coach here at UMGC. So
Look
yes,
at that. What do you
so
know about that? I
that's
love it. I
undercover.
love it.
Undercover right there. So
Uh-huh.
y'all didn't know I
Uh-huh.
was right there with y'all. So
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, that
I'm here with y'all as well. So that's
that's
why,
a
like,
brother right there.
look. So when I talk to my students, so I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I know from a student perspective, and I know from higher ed perspective. I know both ways. As a success coach, my main thing is I know what it feels like to be right where it is at that moment.
It just goes to say, and looking back on your journeys, that uh, the journey of education or whatever the journey might be in life, yeah, it may be challenging. No, it will be challenging, but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. It's what you make it, right? You all just taught us you can laugh through it. You can have a good time. There will be crying involved as well. But one thing that's guaranteed is there will be growth. And to see you both do that, it's just incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us. To wrap things up, as relates to your story, what you would like for the main takeaway to be for all of our listeners, for everyone watching here, from your story. And Emmanuel, you summed up so much already. I'm going to give you a chance to say anything else you might want to. But Carolyn, how would you sum up the biggest takeaway from this story?
Is to believe in yourself. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Keep pressing, and even if you have to take a break, even if you have to pause, if you have to just press the pause button, but just don't have that pause button held down too long and miss the mark. You want to keep going because at the end results, just like my son said, I'll piggyback off what he said to just show up. I had someone say that to me in a ministry. I showed up at a place and everybody had all these accolades behind their name, doctor this, doctor that, and the masters and that. And I had none of that. And I'm sitting back there like, why did they want me to come to this meeting? Why do they want me to show up in this meeting? I went to the ladies' room and a lady was in there. I said, if you don't mind me asking, why am I here? I said, I don't have any of those accolades that everybody else have. And she says, You are in the show up ministry. I said, a show up ministry. She said, that's right, just show up. And because it's a heavy impact by showing up, your present can be known. It can make a difference to somebody else who may be on the sideline and don't want to go forward. A classmate, a teacher, they want to hear what you're saying. They want to be able to say, look, I appreciate that. I needed that. And I've had many of my instructors say, I'm so glad that I had a chance to talk to you, an opportunity to talk to you or meet you, even in the introduction that we have to give at UMGC, in your bio, telling who you are. What's your goal? What's your aspirations? Where do you see yourself, in the next 2 or 3 years or what have you? Somebody is reading that. Another classmate is reading that. The teacher is reading that. So it's important to show up, be faithful, be true to yourself, don't give up. And if you can find someone to encourage you, because sometimes you may be down on yourself and you see no hope, lean towards your success coach or whoever it is. Sometimes you may have to reach out to the president.
Don't give up. Emmanuel, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, look, I would say, oh yeah, look, I'm a man of my word now. And they know what I'm about to do. So I'll say to first start off, it comes down to hope from the beginning. You gotta plant that seed. Hope is that. It all comes down to, like, I always put God first before I do anything. That's one thing. Look, I go off how my name is. I go off of that. And so, one, hope, God first. Another thing is know that you're not going to do this all on your own. I know we all feel like, yes, I can do this. I don't need nobody. I got this. Yeah, you believe in yourself, but know that you will need people.
That's huge.
A village.
People or this whole journey for me to make it this far, I've been counting out a lot of my life. People have been right there.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Gotcha.
for sharing your story, for your transparency, sharing that with us, sharing that with our listeners, sharing that with our viewers. There are a lot of people hearing this who needed to hear what you all needed to share, what you all shared today. So again, thank you for being with us. Thank you for taking time to do that. I want to thank everyone listening as well for hanging with us, for listening in. And I also want to invite everyone watching and listening to like and subscribe if you want to hear more unstoppable stories, okay? And I'm sure you do.